Hey, it's Josh, lead pastor of Cornerstone Community Church, here with another Ministry Minute. This past Sunday, we had Renee West, a missionary to Thailand, with us, and she brought us a message of hope, a message of pressing in and change, going past where we're used to being and gaining a new insight and a new level with God. And as I processed through her message and I was in my study this past week, I was looking at the story of Nehemiah. Nehemiah was the cupbearer. He was a servant to the king. And he was faced with some difficult challenges. He was faced with some difficult circumstances. His family came and they told him of the devastation of Jerusalem and how the walls were torn down and the city was in disrepair. And Nehemiah, he shares his deep sadness and where he mourns. He also goes into something that we should go into more. He goes into a time of prayer and fasting. If you'll take a look at Nehemiah chapter 1, verse 4, it says, "As soon as I heard these words," the words he heard are about the devastation of Jerusalem. He says, "I sat down and I wept and mourned for days, and I continued fasting and praying before the God of heaven. And I said, O Lord of heaven, the great and awesome God who keeps covenant and steadfast love with those who love him and keep his commandments, let your ear be attentive and your eyes open to hear the prayer of your servant, that I now pray before you day and night for the people of Israel, your servants, confessing the sins of the people of Israel which have sinned against you. Even I, my father's house, have sinned. We have acted very corruptly against you and have not kept the commandments, the statutes, and the rules that you commanded your servant Moses. Remember the word that you commanded your servant Moses, saying, If you are unfaithful, I will scatter you among the peoples. But if you return to me and keep my commandments and do them, though you are outcasts, are in the utmost parts of heaven, from there I will gather them and bring them to the place that I have chosen to make my name dwell there. They are your servants and your people, whom you have redeemed by your great power and by your strong hand. O Lord, let your ear be attentive to the prayer of your servant and to the prayer of your servants who delight to fear your name, and give success to your servant today, and grant him mercy in the sight of this man. Now I was the cupbearer to the king." Nehemiah prayed that prayer, asking God to give him favor to the king. He wanted permission from the king to go back and rebuild the city that God had given his people. And so he fasted, he prayed. Fasting is taking a time of sacrifice to get closer to God. The prayer is asking God what you want, reminding God of what he's promised, and then stepping out in faith as Nehemiah did. He walked out his faith to that king, asking for permission to go, and God granted that to him. We have to dare to believe that God has heard our prayer and that he will do what he said he's going to do. I challenge you to press into him, to seek his face, to fast, make a sacrifice to him, to get closer to him, make your prayers, and then step out watching them be given to you in Jesus' name. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, we'll see you soon.